So, today I'll be sharing my story based on my experience with seasonal depression. And if you find yourself relating to this, I advise you to seek professional help so you can get your mental needs met. And I just ask you to be patient with yourself, to be patient with your journey, and to understand yourself and all the life experiences you've encountered thus far. But today in my story, I hope you can find some healing. I hope you find resolution. I hope you find a solution. I hope you find hope again. And I hope that I can manage to heal you through my video and through my stories. Thank you. So let's start with the story. So, my experience with seasonal depression has been very, very weird. It has not been a pleasurable experience, but it has taught me a lot about myself. So for me to know that I live with depression, I was diagnosed by my psychologist, right? And for me to be diagnosed by my psychologist, my journey started here when I had gone through a very terrible breakup, the worst ever, the worst breakup in my life. I don't know how I believe in love again after that. I don't know how, but God is amazing. But it was the worst breakup, and I had lost my grandmother. So in that, I was grieving. I was grieving for my grandmother, and I was grieving for a relationship that I really thought it was gonna last a lifetime. Being a sucker of love. So with that, I was going through like patterns, like repeated activities of sadness. I was not living to the best of my capabilities or making the most of what I had at that point in time in life. I had stuck in a rut of sadness and negative emotions where like joy and happiness was a feeling and an emotion that I couldn't relate to, where I would cry most of the time. And if you'd ask me what I'm crying for, I don't know. I don't know why I'm crying, but I just want to cry. I just want to release. Like, I don't have a reason to cry, but I just want to bawl my eyes out. And even after that, not even like I think for me to even get help with a psychologist, I had shared something on my Instagram story, I think, or on Twitter. I stated I've written something along the lines of being tired or something like that. And then a lady reached out to me in my inboxes and had asked me that, do you journal? Listen, this is the first time. I said I used to. I used to journal. So she was like, no, go back into journaling, and I advise you to also see a psychologist. And I didn't like that idea because I've been to psychologists for the most part of my life. So I was just like, those people have never done anything to help me, right? Like a psychologist, don't tell me about a psychologist. Maybe Mchelengi Swash. I'm joking. But tell me about something. I'm a psychologist, you know. But yeah. Cool. I was very reluctant. On visiting my psychologist because I was like, oh, where do I begin? Because I don't even know a good psychologist in my hometown. Where am I gonna start with this? You know? And then I contacted a psychologist. I was very reluctant. Sign number 2, I didn't want to go to my appointment. I wanted to cancel that appointment because I felt like I have to go speak to a person about what I'm going through. How's it gonna help? You know, because if I speak about it, that means it's in my brain. So how are we gonna take out something that's living here? How are we gonna spill out everything that's in here, right? Through talking, unless you want to crack my skull open, then I believe that I'll be better and whatever I'm thinking and feeling would leave my body. So I went to see my psychologist, and my session was very hard. My first session was hard because I had uttered and shared things that I have kept in for so long, and things that had made me captive to fear, to thinking that I'm unlovable, like losing my grandmother. I have no one that will protect me. The world is cold. I'm alone. Even the way my breakup happened, like for the action that led to the breakup of my relationship, had broken me to the core, and to a point where I didn't know myself anymore, and I couldn't recognize myself anymore, because I had thought that I was that girl. I had seen myself as that girl that could not be loved by anyone anymore, because this person failed to love me, right? So I had seen myself as that person, and whatever you think, you literally will live to it. So I sort of seeing myself and thinking of myself as that girl that could never be loved anymore, and I couldn't love myself. I failed in loving myself, and that's how we got to a point of me being diagnosed with depression. So I wasn't diagnosed with depression in my first session. It was after several sessions where my psychologist had declared that, okay, you've got depression. And whoa, I wasn't ready for that, because I had felt like I was getting better and I was getting back to my normal self. And I was confused and hacked in a way, because I failed to understand that how can a happy soul be sad? I didn't understand that how can a joyful person like me, a girl who's always cracking jokes, a girl with such a lovable personality, like how I can't have depression. A part of me said I cannot have depression because I'm always happy, right? I'm always happy, so I cannot have depression. Okay, cool. We continued with my sessions, and then I had been going during summer and winter, and I think she had picked up that the pattern is that I regularly experience a lot of symptoms related to depression in winter. So that's when she pointed out that I have seasonal depression, because in summer, girl, I would like summer is the best time of my life. I love summer. Besides being a summer baby, I think being a summer baby also affects it, but I love summer. Summer, I'll wake up at 6 a.m., do whatever I want. Like, I'm on a high, I'm on a high. I'm flowing, I'm flowing with life. And yeah, so she had diagnosed me with seasonal depression. And with seasonal depression, what I encounter is that in winter, I struggle to fall asleep. I really struggle to fall asleep, and that affects my mood, because I sleep for like 2-3 hours and then I wake up and I'm sad. Like, I don't feel like anything. I don't feel like doing anything with life. I feel like I could dig up a grave for myself and live there. I'd actually feel like a bear, and I'd have to hibernate, and then I have to come out when it's summer again. I had started binge eating, right? In winter, I this thing of in winter but like comfort food, warm meals. I had overindulged on such meals, because also I can't share, like I couldn't actually name my feelings and say, okay, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling exhausted. So for me, it was very hard because I couldn't name them. So I had found joy and happiness in food, right? In indulging in food. Like, I love cooking. I don't mind making meals from scratch, right? I'm that person. I love cooking. I find joy in cooking. But I found too much joy in eating the food that I make. And I also had lost interest in exercising. I used to love exercising, but in winter I just can't seem to bring myself to move my body, even for just a mere walk. I just can't bring myself to do that. Like, what was normal and summer, or how I live my life normally. I just couldn't bring myself to do it in one time. So the time I was diagnosed with this, I was grieving the loss of my grand. I was grieving my relationship, right? So it was a very, very bad time for me. Like, it was a turmoil of emotions. It was a turmoil of experiences, like it was a turmoil. It was just a mess. It was a mess that is now a message, and it was terrible. So I find myself here again experiencing seasonal depression, but this time it's very, very different. It's different. Like life is set up the exact same way as it was when I lost my grandmother and my relationship. So this time around, what I decided and chose to do differently is to become conscious of my decisions and to become conscious of my actions. And I became conscious of my actions and my decisions through the books that I've read, which I'll share in the next video. So now I have decided, I decide to wake up and get ready, to love myself. That's what I tell myself, that let's wake up and love ourselves. Life is not perfect, but let's bring goodness in the bad. Let's bring the goodness. So also, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can relate to the person you see, right? Because depression makes you lose yourself and make you lose touch with who you are. Like, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you cannot relate to the person you see. You just see a human being in front of the mirror, and you just feel like you're carrying a body that does not belong to you, right? Because you cannot relate to the soul and the spirit of that person that you're carrying. So that's depression, right? Depression is a very, very dark place. There's nothing cute about it, and I don't think that a person that lives with depression and does not know that they're living with it is being entitled, right? If you know of such a person, please help them. Please help them get to the best version of themselves, because losing yourself is not something cute. It's not beautiful. It's not even a pretty disaster, So what I've decided to do differently is reading. So I got into the habit of reading. I enjoy reading because it also feeds my mind with different ideas. I see the world, myself, and people in different ways now. The theory that I put in my mind, I put it to practice as well, through conversation, through the content I consume, through the TV shows I watch. I just think sometimes, my brain is not being controlled by the environment around me, but it's more controlled by what I feed it. So that's how seasonal depression has changed for me this time around, the reading. Also, the vitamins and the food that I take, I will also share that with you. That vitamin that starts with the A, that's the girl. That is the girl. I want about Ionla fix my life. That pill is Ionla, and will fix your life. Okay, I changed the food I eat. I used to find comfort in junk food. Guys, I love burgers, I love milkshakes, I love pizzas. Okay, I love sweets. I love guys, genuine love for these foods. But I realized that consuming such foods had also affected my mood. It would lead me into a low mood. It was just a high. I'd get the high from the food, or the excitement and the joy and happiness for a very short period. Literally, I'd feel good when I'm eating the food, but after I eat it, I feel terrible. I feel tired. I want to sleep. I don't want to do anything. I just want to be a sack of potatoes and just be on a couch or lie in my bed. That was me. And then I had made the conscious decision of actually changing my diet and making sure that I have fruits, I have veggies in my fruits. If I want a burger, let's try a burger from Kauai. If I want a burger, let's try make that burger, you know, because I have felt and seen that when I make myself these meals, some goodness flows into my meals as well. Like there is some feel good energy that goes into my meals and also makes me feel good, but also the energy that I get from healthy meals lasts longer. Like after I eat like a good nourishing meal, I want to do more. I just want to move my body. I want to get things done. I want to read more. I want to research. You know, like I can I'm not full of food. Look, I've got energy for life. You know, and that's what I did. That's what I am currently doing, dealing with my seasonal depression, and you can't wait for summer. Can't wait for summer. But also another thing I've decided to do is also add some movement, like some activity, some physical activity. Where, guys, to be honest, I don't gym every single day. I would love to get to that point someday, but some days I'm just like tired. I realize that I'm tired from one, not resting enough. Two, I'm tired from like pushing my body. Like I can tell that my body, when I push it to an extra, you know, it just becomes tired. But yeah, I haven't worked out in 3 days. It's not a good thing, but I felt like I'm giving my body rest because for the past 3 weeks I've been consistent with gym. So I'm like, oh man, let's love you a little bit, baby. You know, let's not torture you. Let's treat you like the soft princess that you are. You know, but we're gonna get back to that habit. And yeah, so what else have I changed with my seasonal depression is that I'm doing things that scare me, like this. Guys, it's frightening sitting in front of a camera, but I am conquering my fear a day at a time. Okay, that's the difference now. And I just have much more of a positive mindset because I see myself in a different light. I'm no longer hard on myself because I tell myself that we are trying, you know, and whatever it is, forming relationships, friendships, trying to get new jobs, we are trying, right? And don't be hard on yourself for trying because we are trying. We are doing things that scare us. We are doing something that we've never done before. We are putting ourselves out there, so we are trying. And I think that has also helped me to be gentle with myself. Yeah, and also self-talk is a big habit that I'm good on right now. Like I have an inner big sister in me, okay, and my inner big sister calls me out on my BS. My inner big sister really calls me out. She's like, girl, you ain't serious, you know. But also my inner big sister's like, no man, like don't be too harsh on yourself, this is fine. My inner big sister, I love my inner big sister, and I think that my inner child needs her so much now because she comforts her so much, really enough. She comforts her so much and reassures her so much, you know. And that's another big habit that I have right now with my self-depression, with my seasonal depression. Yeah, that's what I can think of why am I saying of seasonal depression. So guys, we know it's winter. You hate this season. I hate it as well. You're probably watching this video at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. because you can't sleep, but I advise you that you seek help. And if you know of someone who's going through such a tough time or this rough patch, I ask you to please be in their corner, to also please be their light in the darkness that they're experiencing, because they themselves don't know what they're going through. They can't name the experience that they're going through, but try and Google and get them some of the books that I'm going to share in my next video to assist them, to get them into the habit of being a better self. And that's it for me today. I'll catch you guys on my next video, but all for now is love, joy, and peace, and better mental health. Love you guys.